Welcome back. So, today we're going to make a house. The villagers have a house, the villagers have a temple, the chickens even have a house. We don't have a house yet. It's going to go right there. All right, so I want to be careful where I put this house. We had some issues earlier in the series where the shrine was a little too close to the villager hut. So I'm thinking it's going to go in this area here, but I want to make sure that it's not blocked by the shrine over there. I don't want it to look too crowded. So as far as the build palette for this goes, I want to use some of these blocks that we've got. In the dark oak, I'd like to use a little polished basalt. I'm not sure if I want to use the stripped dark oak or the regular dark oak. Maybe we'll use both. So we could go with the kind of stripe pattern like this. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. The regular basalt is interesting, but I don't really think it's right for this build. It doesn't give off those house vibes. I mean, it has a vaguely stucco look to it, but it doesn't really look house-ish. If we go with vertical columns like that, again, I'm not really digging that. Sideways basalt looks a little bit better, but it's still not really the vibe I'm going for here. And when you put it that way, it kind of almost looks like cobblestone, so this will be annoying to place if we want to do that, but there's what it looks like. And that's an interesting look. Kind of feels more like that cobblestone accent block than its own sort of thing, but it's interesting. On second thought, it doesn't look that great next to cobblestone, but it does kind of look like it's just a retexture of cobblestone in a darker color, so that's kind of interesting. Okay, so I like the way the cobblestone looks between the dark oak. I mean, it's a little bit cliche, but it is a starter house that we're making here, I guess. And I kind of like that more than any of the other things that we've tried so far. I don't know how I feel about the basalt in the middle. I don't think I really like that very much. So I don't really like it if we go all dark oak. It kind of looks too homogeneous there. So far, the cobble and the dark oak is kind of the best option that we've had. None of these basalt blocks really seem to fit in all that well. Maybe we can find a place for them, but they're not really fitting in here. Okay, so we know generally where we want to put it, but the next step is to kind of make the outline of this thing, so I think we're going to start there. We got enough space that we shouldn't bump up against any of the other builds, but it's also, should tuck in kind of nice. So, hopefully we got this one right. As far as the shape goes, I don't want to make the wings here too long, because it would kind of look weird then. So there's a bit of trial and error. So I had to do a little bit of terraforming, as you can see. There just wasn't enough room for a big, large-scale build without kind of, putting it too close to the other things that are there. Okay, so let's talk about the shape of this thing. So I'm kind of going for a T shape. I don't just want to make it a rectangle. So we're going to have our kind of big main room in the center, which is just kind of going to be a rectangle. But then we're also going to have two long wings off on the sides, and I think that'll make it a little bit more interesting, kind of like a mansion-y kind of shape, and it'll definitely make it less boring than if we just made it a big old box. The villager hut is a box, and well, that's kind of boring. I'm going to replace the corners with wood, so every time there is a change in direction, basically, we're going to put, the dark oak wood there, just to, give some texture and some variation to this stuff. Okay, so I've got a little cutout here for a window, but, even so, considering that, I think there's going to be too much cobblestone. So what we're going to do is we're going to texture a little bit, and we're going to throw in some andesite kind of randomly, just to break up the monotony of the cobblestone, just because I think it's going to look better if we have some, different blocks in there. I also had another idea, and that's to kind of frame the windows in this polished basalt block that we were looking at earlier. So, I don't want to use a ton of this stuff, but I do think it'll look good if we frame the windows in it, just for, again, a little bit of variation right there. Okay, so I want to properly frame the windows, so I'm thinking something like wood and maybe basalt along the bottom. Also, yeah, we need to get Optifine in here because that's just hideous. So we'll be fixing that shortly, but it wasn't out when I started this series. Okay, so it's starting to take shape. We've got the basic outline of the building, and the roof line is kind of the next thing we've got to do. And as I've said many times, roofs are not really my thing, but I'm thinking something like that, right? Not too dramatic a slope, not too sharp and pointy, nothing like that. Okay, so I made it a little steeper. I made it all stairs. I popped it out one block. I made it flat on the top, but it does look like it starts a little too low. So unfortunately, and I may regret this, I'm gonna tear it down and start it up one block higher because it seems like the roof is starting way too low. Alright, so there's the finished roof line. I like it a lot better than the other one. It doesn't look too low or collapsed or smushy or anything like that. So I'm pretty pleased with the way that came out. I'm not good at doing roofs, so that took a while. Okay, so the front is pretty plain. So we're going to spruce it up a little bit. Just some fences and maybe some fence gates too. Something like that, just to make it look a little less boring up front. A little bit of a marquee kind of thing. So there's the finished product. I think it looks a lot better. I don't want to put a window in there, so it kind of breaks up the space a little bit. Here's the kind of roof structure I decided for the little side bit. Got a little bit of an arch thing going on with the windows. I think it'll, kind of flow with the rest of the roof line. So inside we're going to add some slabs just so it's not all hard corners here. It kind of breaks it up just a little bit. Same goes for the walls. We're going to add some walls to the walls. Make it just a little less of a hard corner. Alright, this was the tricky part. I have trouble with every kind of roof, but especially when I'm trying to make two roofs that are perpendicular to each other meet and look nice. So that took quite a while to get that little bit done. But in the end, it kind of looks good. It looks like a natural roof line should look, and it came out better than I thought it would. Now we have to worry about the second floor. We gotta fix that staircase at some point. But the real question is, how much of a second floor do we want? Do we want just a little loft area, just a few blocks out? Or do we want an entire second floor, covering the whole surface area of this central room? So we're gonna have to check how that looks. And, we'll compare a couple of different ways. And also, the other question is, how high do we want it to be? So, there's just a little loft, right, just like that, and it doesn't look that good. I think it needs to be extended out. Probably it's got to go all the way. But it also feels a little bit low, so we're going to have to do something about that as well. So they kind of all look terrible, and I realized that the problem was that I was using spruce wood, and the spruce wood just did not look good right next to the dark oak. As you can see, it's not really doing it right. So it just didn't look good. So I think we got to go with dark oak for this whole thing, whether it's a loft or an entire floor. And the other thing I wanted to do is I wanted to frame the staircase a little better so it was less ugly. So I thought I'd just put these fences here, and we'll try some cool little pattern of sorts, and that kind of looks a lot better than just having the big mass of cobblestone stairs right there. It didn't look so high. Okay, I think I've solved the problem of the ceiling height there. I think what we're going to do is we're going to use slabs. So as you can see, just a half a block of difference really does help. It makes it feel a lot higher, and it doesn't affect the height of the building, the second floor at all, so that should be just fine. Quick break to do some emerald trading, and Cat, hello? Cat? How did you get up there? You're not supposed to be up there. What? I've never seen that before. I guess he spawned up there, and I guess he's kind of stuck up there for all eternity. So I guess you are now Roof Cat. Congratulations, Roof Cat.
Basic design
Okay,
of this,
so
and
what are you
hey,
doing in my
you
bedroom?
guys,
What are you doing
why are
up
you
here?
in my house?
You don't even have any good
Yeah, I'm
trades.
sorry, buddy, but you're not supposed to be in
This is
the
not
house.
for
Get
you.
out.
This place is not
I'm
for
not
you.
even sure how you got
You
in.
gotta go. Sorry, buddy. You gotta go. So as I was afraid of, there is a slight problem with the roof design. You see those little holes there? I don't like that. That really bugs me. I do not want those gaps there. So the roof comes together, you know, pretty seamlessly, except for those little corner gaps, and we got to do something about that. Okay, so I think I found a solution to this. And basically, we just need to break these blocks, put a regular block underneath, and then put a corner stair right there, and that should solve the problem. Just like that. Okay, so here's the basic structure of the house. It's all done. You know, I kind of like the way that the roof line goes. You know, it looks like a real house that you might see somewhere. It's not, you know, it's not a mansion, but it's not a tiny little box either. So obviously, it's going to need some exterior decorations, but I kind of like it. I think it came out pretty well. I'm not used to building this style of structure, so I've never really built a house like this before. But you know, the roof looks like a real roof line. It's got just enough interesting things. You know, we certainly have a whole lot of timber framing, and we certainly have a whole lot of windows as well. So it's very, you know, very light on the inside. You can see out. We got a nice bay windows on the sides, and we even have, you know, a little balcony and a porch out back, which is also something I've definitely never done. But you know, I think it looks good, and I like having that balcony out of my bedroom window. I wish I had that in real life. So that's the basic structure of the building. You know, probably need to fix that little spot right there, but you can just ignore that. And this side is about the same. We're gonna probably move that wheat field as it looks a little out of place, but yeah, you know, there you go. His house. So let's just jazz it up a little bit. We'll put some bushes all around. You know, maybe we'll put some flowers and things like that. I made a bunch of flower pots from the clay that I got from the river. So we can just throw these all around, and you know, it just kind of helps a little bit, add some little tiny details. Same thing goes for the inside. Boom, flower in the bedroom, you bet. And of course, we got to add some greenery to the outside. Yeah, that looks terrible. That looks absolutely awful. That cannot stay. I do like the idea of having cacti outside, but yeah, that just we can't. No, just no. Okay, so what about in this corner over here? Does that look any? Yeah, not really, not really. So you know, maybe we'll just go with the regular flower. Also, nice shortcut up onto the roof. You know, if we need it. So we got the porch area with the smooth stone. You got the flowers. You know, it looks like a patio. Of course, we have the Adirondack chair with the fantastic, expansive views of the lake and nearby hills. So, you know, very nice chill spot. We got the bushes, we got the more flowers, we still have the wheat field, you know, that's not going to stay there. We got the lantern for the light, we got some more bushes, and, you know, that's the exterior. Let's check out the interior. So inside, I have added a lot of stuff. First and foremost, we've added the pressure plates, which is, you know, a must-have for any door, right? I mean, now you only have to open it to go in, and it auto-closes and opens every other time. That's cool. So, you know, we have the storage system here. We spammed a bunch of paintings on the walls just to make it look a little less bare. We got the essentials. Yeah, and we got the little variations in the floor to make it look better, you know, kind of all this standard stuff. So we've got the desk, the workspace over here with the nice chair and the, you know, view to contemplate existence or whatever it is that we do at that desk. And then we have the storage system. So this side is building blocks. You know, that's like your stone and stuff. And this side is your adventuring blocks. So kind of took a different approach to most people. I don't have like an item frame for every block that I use. I just kind of went by general themes. So there's like a, you know, stone, which is all the stone stuffs. And then there's like, you know, not stone, which is all the not stone building blocks. Anyway, a little different storage system. And of course, the second floor, the bedroom loft. I put in a window there, nice, you know, yoga mat or whatever, a little carpet with some flowers. We got the double bed. We got the nice painting on the wall. We got the windows over here. And of course, the balcony. I've changed the flowers up a little bit, but you know, it's still a balcony. So yeah, here's the final view of the house from the front. I think it came out pretty well. I've never really built a house like this before, and I'm kind of pleased with it. So now we have our storage building in our house, and that's going to do it for this episode. So thank you very much for watching.